Hi, my name is Franklin Sperie. I'm the CEO of Sperie Spirit Services, and I'm here to talk about how I started my brand and my journey. Today, I'm at Lyoninstylettoes, and I'm here to say nothing but the truth.
Hi, my name is Queen Renee, and this is the Lyoninstylettoes show, and you already know what it is, nothing but the truth. And I am here with this amazing serial entrepreneur. When you hear the word serial, I almost want to say serial killer, but serial entrepreneur, and his name is Franklin Sperie. Don't mind me if I don't call you Jack Sparrow.
No, that's fine.
So, how are you doing? Thank you so much for coming out.
You're welcome.
I really do appreciate it. And this interview is really particularly important for me because I do, although I do interview a lot of people in the fashion industry and the entertainment industry, a lot of people still need to know more about the entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And just having you to come and sit down with me and have this talk, I do appreciate it.
Wow.
So without much ado, we'd like to get to know you first of all. Nothing but the truth.
Okay, yeah, sure, of course, yeah. I'm a strong Christian, so yes, obviously. You guys are gonna know the truth. All right, so my name is Franklin Sperie.
Say it again.
Isinguzo, that's my surname. So
Nguzo.
Isinguzo.
Where are you from?
I'm from Abia State.
Wow.
Umuahia.
Okay.
To be precise, yeah. So I'm an entrepreneur. I do apparel manufacturing, promotional branding. I'm a TV host. And what else?
What? You are an entertainer.
Well, I don't really see myself as an entertainer, because well, even if you might call me an entertainer, but I really don't see myself as one. I'd rather you just call me a businessman who can do a whole lot of things, but not a jack of all trades. Yeah. I know behind the scene we had this argument about being a jack of all trades and all that stuff, but I'll let that slide.
You could be a master of something.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
It's all circles around one goal. Yes, the master of something. Take for example, what is the name of your brand?
Spees Apparel.
Exactly. No, but specifically, apart from the apparel, what's the name of your brand?
Sperie Integrated Services.
Exactly. Yeah. So you would have the list of the things that your brand does.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and you don't want to. It's just like saying, obviously, you do your apparel, you do your hosting, it all fits into the package.
Yeah, true.
But it's different if you say you're doing all this thing and you're a doctor. So I know you're trying to say you're not trying to be everywhere.
Exactly.
But yes, you own all this content inside your brand. So you are a jack of all trade of what you do, that you're a master of something. I'll try. So can you tell us about your background?
So I'm the first in the family of 4, 2 boys and 2 girls. I'm the first.
The responsibility. Igbo people, we don't take jokes with.
I know. So being the first, it's a whole lot of work, but that's a topic for another day. Then I've got like 2 younger sisters, and then the last born, who is a boy, also works with me. So he's the COO of Spees Apparel. So
does he look like you?
Yes, but he's way taller. He's like 6'4". Yeah, this new generation. I don't know what they eat. It's just something about them that makes them makes them grow like all over the place. So sometimes people actually think he's older, but they don't know I have like 3 kids.
No, I'm coming to that because there's a big question. Definitely, it's important that young men out there need to know. They make excuses that they're not ready for the responsibility of being married. Yeah, but they want the waywardness of being with women. I'll get to that, and it's really important. Just hearing from you, you're so young, and you're doing these things, making it happen as a responsible person and a handsome person, I must say.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to rush that. That's a whole nother topic right there. Can you tell us about your high school, your university, if you did any of that?
Sure. So university I went to. So let me I schooled in. So I started being in Abia State. My mom was a teacher, in Avani College of Education in Umuahia. So being the first, she was trying to wrap up and then do some extra courses. So I was with her for about, primary 1 or thereabouts. Then we all moved back to Lagos. We moved to Lagos rather, and then came to join my dad.
How was like?
Yeah. So my dad was my dad. My dad is late now. He's so rest in peace. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, he was living in Lagos, and so he wanted everybody to come over. So as soon as my mom wrapped up what she was doing, especially at school, getting her master's and all that stuff, so we moved over to Lagos. So I started. I schooled in Lagos. My primary education was in St. Catherine's Model School in Surulere, and after that, I went to FGC Milan in the north. And when I was done with my secondary school, I moved back to the west. I went to UI.
Wow.
So that was how I was able to pick like 3 languages: Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. So I kind of understand.
Like my dad.
So I kind of understand like the 3 languages and all that. So so that was it. But then the thing is, so I'll just dive back to what you asked initially about, how the whole thing started. So after secondary school, it was actually, I realized that, it's very boring being broke. So that was one thing. That was the first thing.
How old were you with this?
I was 17. So in my head I wanted to do something. So I was trying.
But you had your dad's money.
My dad, I think I wasn't born into a rich home.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was just an okay family.
These details are really important.
Yeah, it was just an okay family. So in Surulere,
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there such as a middle class in Nigeria?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Why?
There's a middle class, but a lot of people that think that they're in the middle class are actually not in the middle class.
Okay.
Because I feel the middle class actually like have both what we feel is the middle class. We know that there's
there's poor,
there's
masses,
poor,
the rich.
There's also an extremely poor. Yeah, I mean, there's an extremely poor masses, and there's the poor. And I think there's a level before the people who are doing okay.
And when let's use environment to categorize doing okay.
Yeah. So I would say that there should be a class, let's say the comfortable class for the middle class. So that's where your parents can afford to send you to good schools. Okay. It doesn't mean they have it all, but it's a struggle. We know it's a struggle, but they're willing to make the sacrifices. So that's the class I'm talking about. That's where I fit into. Okay. At least my dad was able to. He could afford a car. My mom, we're just doing okay.
So if you say your dad can, I'd like to get the details. Okay, people are listening to this.
Yes.
Your dad can afford a car. Mm-hmm. Does that make it a middle class?
No, I don't think it's a middle class because it was still a struggle. I could tell. Yeah. Like I knew. Being the first, I was closer to what was really happening in the home. Mm-hmm. There used to be a time where we want to go back to school. My younger sisters went to federal government colleges as well. Everybody had to go back to school before me. Okay. So they felt I could understand.
I mean, you're responsible just for you being the last. They were training you for something.
Yeah, being the last to always go. Yeah. But the thing, I don't think it was intentional.
Yeah, but it was a mental training. Yeah, but it
was a mental training because they just felt like I was smart enough to understand that.
No, they made you smart enough to understand to be selfless.
Exactly. So that's it basically. So when I was done with secondary school, this was before university. I wanted to do something. I decided. I felt if I could create something, then that's fine. But if I don't, I'll go out and look for a job. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I did was.
Why did you think so?
Yeah, so because like I said, I hated the fact that I didn't have stuff. Like I just didn't like the fact that I couldn't afford anything I wanted, and I wasn't ready to depend on my parents for this thing. So my mindset. Now the good thing is that, like I was saying, I was 17. So like in my company logo, there's 17 on it. People don't understand why it's there. It's actually because of the age that I decided to take that bold walk. So the thing is, that's the importance about morals, So I grew up, knowing that if you needed anything, you needed to work for it. So I wasn't thinking of doing crime, right? So I was thinking of how to make ends meet. So I worked, decided to get a job to work as an office assistant, and I worked there for a couple of months. I was being paid, I think, about 4K per month or thereabouts. But it was fulfilling. I was able to, shop for myself, buy stuff for my sisters. I remember my younger brother was quite little. I remember my first salary, I bought him a Converse. Back then, I felt really good. It was a very good feeling. So there was this yeah, go ahead.
So you got 4,000 naira is something back then, obviously, right?
Not so much. I think it's right now the value will be about 20K.
That's still something as a 17-year-old.
Oh well, yeah, it's something. Yeah.
Now, as a 17-year-old, the value is 20,000.
Yeah,
there's something you said. If you can repeat it for us, you felt the fulfillment.
Exactly.
For
earning.
Honestly.
Exactly. So that's it. Yeah. So I think that's where it all started. So I kept on going, but I didn't want to do something for myself. So and then I know how to sketch, right? And then I was inspired by someone. So there's this brand. He's late right now. These are like the people who started apparel making in Nigeria. I'm talking about t-shirt brands. They call him, his name is Oshedi. people who are industry people. If you're talking about people like Two-Face, Basket Mouth, those that grew up in Surrey, they know these guys. So I saw his design one time, and he used to make those things out of leather. So he would cut leather and then make a design on a t-shirt. And people were buying, people were wearing for music videos. So if you go back to videos made in around 2005, 2004.
You said 19 now.
Yeah, I just remember you would see like his designs all over the place. So I was inspired. So I felt I could do this. And that's how I started making those designs with same leather, put them on t-shirts, and then people would buy. I'll use acrylic to paint on t-shirts and sell. My first market was Redeemers University. So I had a friend, he's in Cyprus now. He just got into Redeemers University. That was their first set. Redeemers University just started. So
you said Redeemers.
Redeemers University, yeah. So it's a
church school.
Yeah, it's a church school. So that was my first market. So I would go there and then I'll make these designs. We take them to the school, sell them, and that's how it started.
This is really important because a lot of our generation, this whole they have been making, anyway, to be fair, the government has, but I really don't. Ever since I got back from America, I always made it clear, like, the government is not our problem. Yeah. We are our own problem.
True.
Solve it. Mm-hmm. But it's good to hear that you did these things for yourself. You didn't say, "Oh, because you had a dad, it's your responsibility, Dad." You didn't do nothing like that.
That's a new generation. Line.
No, even that, not the formal generation. Mm-hmm. That's the excuses. If you're a rare person to say.
I think it's about the mindset, but it's about you.
Do you think it's your dad that influenced you with this mindset?
I think okay. My dad he was a businessman all through his life.
Okay.
My mom was, or is still, she's a fighter. When I mean fighter, my mom went into, so the school I started in, my mom got into that school as a social studies teacher. Mm-mm. And she retired as the headmistress. So I saw my mom grow.
She never got tired.
So I think I literally got my inspiration from my parents, and
she should even be owning a school by now.
But she's quite old and she doesn't want that stress. It's a whole lot running the school, trust me.
Yes, I know.
So the whole school thing, I remember that reminds me. So I remember thinking, my dad, I think when I eventually got the admission, my dad was actually he was inspired, right? So he paid my first fee, I remember then. Yeah, I just remember, paid my first fee. And I took it over from there, all through. I didn't have to ask for anything. I was living off campus. I joined an entertainment group. I said
it. He's confessing.
It was called LXG's, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and all that. So we used to have school parties and all that stuff. Now, because everybody knew that I'm the one that likes money, we'll have parties. I have my friends. Would have parties back then. And when it's time during the party day, I'm the one that will be at the gate, because if you're not paying, you're not getting in. And they know other people. You can beg other people and they will accept, but they know me. I can only give you a discount. Now, I would be at that gate collecting money from people. My friends, my club members are partying upstairs. This is in the Barcoco Dome. I'm sure a lot of them will be watching this, right? And they're having fun, and I'm downstairs till 3 a.m. So when I noticed that, we're no longer expecting more people, I'll do the accounts, then I'll go upstairs to party. And I end up being the life of the party. Do you understand? So I've always liked business. Exactly, typical Igbo man, that kind of thing. So that was just it. So great. So did school, and then after my uni, and then I was still doing my same business. So it was after university, that was 2013, 2014. I got my first store, and...
don't rush me.
Okay.
I have to ask that question. Okay, now know where you are coming from, and where you're coming from would say it birthed who you are now.
Exactly, true, very true.
So we've seen over the apparel with BBN. Which year was this one?
That was 2020. Big Brother Lockdown Edition. Yeah,
oh.
That was Lakon.
Can you tell us about that?
Okay, so
now this is really key importance, because you got in entrepreneurship, you got to be a go-getter.
Very true.
You can't sit and say that businesses will come to you.
Very true. To go for it, yeah.
You need to go for what you want. So we just want to know the backstory of how that came about.
Okay, so I got a call about 2 weeks before BBN. You know, apparently someone gave someone my number and then said, okay, they make merchandise and all that. And then I asked for what. They said it was for Big Brother, and I was like, okay, that's okay. So I asked the idea what they wanted. They said, okay, they didn't have an idea. They just wanted someone to come up with stuff. So, but then the thing is that they've seen a lot of other brands have sent in designs and all that, but that the guys in marketing just were not the Betway people were not satisfied with what they were getting, and just wanted something different. You know, when the clients want something different and they can't tell you what they want, you know, I think that's also where grace comes to play. You know, because a lot of people who I even know bidded for the job, sent in their designs and all that stuff. So when they asked me to send in my designs, so I was armed with the information that they wanted something different. So I decided, okay, that the best thing to do was create an entire collection, right, for Betway. That's the brand, the brand that sponsored the lockdown edition, you know. So I decided to create an entire collection, and then I knew that so I did a bit of research, and I realized that it's a multinational brand. So since they were trying to come to Nigeria, I'm sure that giving them something African would actually sell, you know. So I created a textile design, and used it and infused it into almost everything I created for them. And they saw it, and as God made it, they were like, this is exactly what we're looking for. And then when I got a call on Sunday, I remember Sunday evening, you know, the lady called me. I was like, guess what? Your designs, your collection was approved. I almost fainted. You know, I was excited. It was very good news. I mean, I was really happy because
very big deal.
You know, it was a very big deal and all that stuff. And then it was also very challenging. People don't even know that, because these guys have been on this for like months. They weren't able to get what they really like. Now they've gotten what they want, and this is just about in less than 10 days for Big Brother to create an entire collection. So that's why they say something about, you know, sometimes when the production, so sometimes when good things want to come, it doesn't come out of gold. So you need to be ready for that. If you're not armed, you know, for that, it won't happen. And we got to work, and we started producing and all that stuff, and hey, it just happened. So that's just, so I think it's more timing. Of course, we were able to deliver. If I would deliver the day before the housemates got into the house. So yeah, it was quite challenging.
But obviously, it didn't stop there.
Of course, it didn't stop.
Because you can't produce such designs and just.
Yeah, it didn't stop there. So what happened was that also bettered our Naija jerseys, right? So at that period, we had a lot of the attention was heavy at that point in time. You know, of course, it's Big Brother. It's huge. So we dropped our first Naija jersey, which the housemates also. So the brand were in love with it, and then they paid for a good number of the jerseys, and then the housemates rocked them, and we started selling. So that's how we decided, okay, you know what, in every 2 years we're just going to ride on this and keep dropping our own Naija version of jerseys, and that's how it started. So we actually leveraged on the fact that, you know, we're getting a lot of attention, and we decided to start putting things out.
So you do consider yourself a fashion designer?
Then you can call me. Why I don't like people calling me that is because that's trying to put me in a box, because I rather you just call me a businessman. Because if you call me fashion designer, you're just putting me in a box. It's one of the businesses. You can't call Dangote. You can't call Dangote, for example. You can't call him
a finery owner.
Do you understand?
He owns a finery.
He owns what? Or you say, he also has like food processing. Sugar. Say, Dangote. Also, or just call him a sugar man, or a pasta man, or pasta man. No, he doesn't know. So, right, just call him a businessman. So that's it. So,
apart from being a businessman, I got a wind. You were into politics before.
Okay, well,
are you still in the politics?
Yes, I am. Okay. And then so the politics actually happened by chance. You know what they say about when you're in a room where you play around fire. I mean, you can actually get burnt. No, not in a bad way this time. I'm just trying to say.
Okay.
So I've done projects with a lot of politicians. I mean, I spoke about. I did a project with the current governor of Bauchi State, who is Senator, His Excellency Senator Bala Mohammed. Went to set up a skill acquisition center in Bauchi State, and we trained indigenes and all that. I've done stuff for Ministry of Finance. I would go to NYC camps and talk to youth corpers about entrepreneurship and all that. I've done stuff with quite a lot of people, a lot of politicians, people who want to empower people. So, because I always talk about, I'm very heavy, I'm big on human development, and I feel that the best way to really make people, get better is to, give them the skill, empower them. it starts from the mind, because you can tell someone, okay, you know what, you need to do business. If we give you $1 million, you'll be able to achieve all this. But the mind is not ready. The person will waste it.
Yeah.
So I was always doing that, and that's how it happened. Then I started rolling with. So now, when I was in Justice 1 in secondary school, my head boy, his name is Gideon Osi. So he is my mentor right now. So he's Dr. Gideon Osi. He's the chairman. CEO.
I like the fact how you stay connected.
I always tell people, you can't say you want to be a businessman or entrepreneur and you won't know how to network or maintain your relationship. A lot of people are very good at burning bridges, and that's why they remain poor for life, because you meet people, you don't even bring value. Instead, you're trying to mess your chances of becoming a better person up. So for me, I leverage on.
But what if the bridges needed to be burnt because of what the person is doing negative? I mean, you tell us, how do you check balance that?
Okay, well,
friends who try to harm you because you're too prosperous, and
okay, well,
you keep that bridge running.
Of course, you're going to break it down, destroy it.
Okay. So the people around you are positive people.
Of course, yeah. There are people who bring value to my life, and then I make sure I also bring value to their lives as well.
To give them a reason to keep you.
The best form of relationship is a symbiotic relationship. Relationship should be a give or take. It's like love, for example. I give you love, you give me back love. That's how it works. It can't be one-sided.
When it's one-sided, what happens?
Someone would definitely walk away.
Yeah.
That's just a fact of life. So when I meet most of these influential people, these wealthy people, these politicians, I try to bring value. The first thing I think about is what I can do for you and not what you're going to do for me. I know you have a lot to do for me, but I don't want to think about that first. So that's how I'm able to.
Because when you're thinking about giving the value and they appreciate the value you give to them, they will come back.
Of course, they'll come back.
Give you back.
They'll come back.
Even much more.
They'll come back.
Before we even go into your future, your bleak future, we want to know, obviously, you are handsome, you're young, you are married.
Yes, I am.
How many kids?
Meta. 3.
Igwe.
I have a girl and 2 boys.
A girl and 2 boys. Yeah. You're a daughter?
Yeah, I have a daughter and 2 girls.
How old is she?
Okay, she's 14. Yeah, a long story. So let's not dive into that.
It sounds like a beautiful story.
It's a beautiful one, but it's quite long. So let's just leave that.
14. Then your last born?
He's 1. He's about to turn 1.
Oh,
so I have
congrats.
It's 14, it's 5, and then 1.
Oh, congrats!
Thank you very much.
Now, this is really important because we're dealing with a generation of men and women who are this generation. Very few of our people are taking responsibility of committing to each other.
Yeah.
But majority of men are evading real deep commitment. What do you have to say? What's your take on this? Because you're an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. You dived into politics. Yeah. You are, should I say, happily married now?
Of course, yes, I am.
Fulfilled.
Yes.
Talk to us.
So the thing is, I always have a plan. I already planned my life out that there are some things you can't gain back once you lose them, and that's time. So I told myself that I wasn't going to wait till I've done every single thing before having a family.
Say that again.
I told myself that I wasn't going to wait.
No.
What's that?
The statement you said.
It's about time?
Yeah.
Okay, what I said about that, if there's one thing you can't get back, that's time. Is that? Am I correct?
It's time.
Yeah, so time. So to me, I told myself that whatever it is I was going to do, once I get to...
It doesn't affect her.
Yeah, pick up now.
Okay, so I just go. So I told myself that, in my head, that once I'm 30, right, I need to have a family, right? So I know a lot of people in our generation, a lot of people feel that you need to wait till you sort a whole lot of things out, before you get.
But can you really ever sort a whole lot of things out?
You can. Now that's the thing. It's actually very possible. Once you have a plan, So I feel, have a plan, then start a family.
Now, what is the criteria
for starting a family? Or what?
For a man looking for a woman, in your own opinion.
Okay, yeah. So first, one of the first things is you need to find a woman who you're never going to get tired of. Because I think a lot of people break up because they end up getting tired of. See, women would give you they'll give you happiness, you fight, everything, but just make sure it's someone who you don't get tired of. Once it's a woman who you're never tired of, you guys can actually stand the test of time. Our parents never got divorced because my dad, I'll use my dad for instance, he would lament. Okay, well, but the thing is, I'm trying to say, no. I'll talk about my dad for instance. He would lament and then say, oh, your mom did this, your mom did that, your mother's up to your mother. But at the end of the day, he'll go out and he'll get stuff for her. There was love. They knew that it's part of. Now the thing, let me tell you the thing. A lot of young people want marriage to be perfect, but their relationships are not perfect. You're in a relationship, you guys fight, break up, and make up, and it's the same thing. It's just that in marriage is a bigger picture. You guys are now husband and wife, and then you guys also have kids. The responsibilities are more, but they forget that, okay, when I was dating, or maybe when they were dating, they forget that, there's always this on and off. That's just life for you. So I think for me, as a man, first you need to find a woman who matches with your dreams,
who believes in you,
in you as well. So, and then women know men that there's this thing about women. They know men that can break even at the end of the day. So a woman can actually marry a man based on prospects, or a man that has a dream. But as a man that has a dream, when a woman believes in you, you also need to believe in yourself. Don't just go halfway and then crash or just give up and all that, because you might be shocked that your drive is actually what keeps her going.
I always like to ask all my sit down hosts, what does that sky look like for you? Okay, so for me, I sense you go back to politics, that's for sure.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I know for a fact that, when I hit 50, right, I'm just going to be doing more of a TV thing, just be a TV host there, maybe run my own show or stuff like that.
Says the person says I'm not an entertainer.
But then it's business and lifestyle, so it's around what I do, That's it. Then for Spee's apparel, right, I'm actually looking at there's a brand that I love what they do. It's Zara. I want to be like that because as I speak to you right now, we do almost everything. Even though if you go on our page, you just see the apparels and the urban wears. We make boxers, right? We make like everything I'm wearing from top to bottom.
I know it's you.
It's me. Do you understand? So we make briefs. We're looking at going into shoes. We started making like slippers. Want to have our own glasses. So I want to be able to have our store online whereby you can decide to pick an entire look. Like it's not just about buying a t-shirt or buying it. That's the plan for Spee's apparel, right, in the nearest future. And then for our promotion at Sperie Customs, which is a promotional branding company, the whole idea is just to keep making things that are trendy for brands and corporate organizations. Just something that's not boring. That's it. We just want to keep doing that. Yeah. What's that look on your face?
I feel like you're my mirror, because what I'm wearing, I designed this too.
Oh, nice, nice.
And I want to do the shoes, the jackets, the handbags.
Nice.
So obviously you have a big vision.
Of course,
and obviously I'm going to be doing some work with you apart from interviewing you.
We're here for you.
Right? Yeah. And all that. But thank you so much. Obviously it's not the last.
Of course we're going to come back.
You're going to come back again.
Yeah.
But until then, right? Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Renee.
And this is Franklin. I don't want to call you Sparrow. Franklin
Isinguzo.
Very
strong, very strong.
Sperie, the CEO of
Sperie Creative Services.
Thank you so much. And I am Queen. I am Queen Renee, and this is the Lyoninstylettoes show. Nothing but the truth. Stay tuned for the next interview. Bye.